On 28 December 1958, the New York Giants took on the Baltimore Colts at the Yankee Stadium in that season's NFL championship game. Towards the end of the game, the Giants held a 3-point lead. Colts kicker Steve Myra lined up for a 20-yard field goal, sending the game into overtime, where the Colts would score a touchdown to win the game and the championship. Dubbed the greatest game ever played, this game was the first and only championship game to go into overtime until Super Bowl 51 in 2017. We'll get to that game in a bit. That encounter between the Colts and Giants set in motion the wheels of change. An estimated 45 million people had tuned in to watch the game on television. Amongst those watching were millionaire businessmen Lamar Hunt and Bud Adams. Before we go any further, it's imperative that we understand the importance of the then NFL commissioner and his role in expanding and disseminating the league, which ironically also led to the rise of competition. After NFL Commissioner Bert Bell passed away in October 1959, 33-year-old Pete Rozelle became a surprise replacement. As Howard Cosell noted in his 1985 book, I Never Played the Game, the owners took about 23 ballots before settling on Rozelle as NFL Commissioner at a meeting on January 26, 1960. The NFL had been following an outdated 1930s business model till the 1960s. The league frequently played to half-empty stadiums and only a few teams had television contracts. Coming in as the commissioner, Rozelle helped the league adopt profit sharing of gate and television revenues, which turned out to be a major factor in stabilizing the NFL and guaranteed the success of the small market teams. In negotiating high-value long-term contracts, Rozelle basically played the networks against each other, making sure the league would make top dollar on every game possible. In early 1962, Rozelle was re-elected to a 5-year contract to remain as league commissioner. Remember the two businessmen watching the 1958 championship game? They did something that many others had tried and failed to accomplish: create a competitive alternative to the NFL. After Commissioner Rozelle spurned Lamar Hunt and Bud Adams in their pursuit to own the Chicago Cardinals, the duo decided to create the American Football League. Lamar Hunt took ownership of the Dallas Texans, now known as the Kansas City Chiefs, while Adams took over the Houston Oilers, known today as the Tennessee Titans. Akin to all previous competitors, the AFL was laughed off by most in the NFL, but despite the initial struggles with subpar venues and frequent collision amongst the team owners, the flashy football caught the public's attention, and the AFL quickly gained momentum in a market dominated primarily by the NFL. As the AFL started to attract top-level college talent and free agents, it was the involvement of another kicker that pushed the tides in favor of what today's football looks like. By 1965, the AFL obtained a new NBC contract and signed an emerging superstar in Joe Namath. As the leagues battled to sign top talent, bonuses and salaries grew dramatically. Wellington Mara, then owner of the NFL's New York Giants, broke a gentleman's agreement between the NFL and AFL not to poach each other's players when he signed place kicker Pete Gogolak from the AFL's Buffalo Bills. Al Davis, then commissioner of the AFL, wanted to bury the NFL rather than merge with it. Thankfully, most executives saw the upside in merging the leagues and sharing profits. The NFL and AFL agreed to merge in 1966. Among the conditions were a common draft and a championship game to be played between the league champions at the end of the season. And as for the name Super Bowl, we again have Lamar Hunt to thank for it. In July 1966, in a letter to NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle, Chiefs owner Lamar Hunt wrote, "I have kiddingly called it the Super Bowl, which obviously can be improved upon." Hunt later stated that the name was in his head because his children had been playing with the Super Bowl toy. Although the league's owners decided on the name AFL-NFL Championship Game, the media had picked up Hunt's Super Bowl name. And with the third annual AFL-NFL Championship Game in 1969 between the AFL's New York Jets and the NFL's Baltimore Colts, the game was officially renamed the Super Bowl, while also retroactively naming the previous two editions as Super Bowl I and II. Lamar Hunt was also the brain behind the Roman numerals we see in the Super Bowl name. Hunt explained that the Roman numerals added pomp and gravitas to the game, while also making it easy to recognize as the league plays the game in the year following the regular season. Super Bowl V was the first to use the Roman numerals, while they were again added retroactively to Super Bowl II, III, and IV. All editions of the Super Bowl have used Roman numerals so far, with the exception of Super Bowl 50, which would have otherwise read as Super Bowl L, which in hindsight would not have been so bad, considering the big L that the game and league took after that embarrassment of a halftime show. Under legendary coach Vince Lombardi, quarterback Bart Starr led the Green Bay Packers to win Super Bowl I and II, while also winning the Super Bowl MVP in both years. Super Bowl III was won by AFL's New York Jets against the Baltimore Colts. marking the first time an AFL team won the big game. And Super Bowl IV was won by Lamar Hunt's Kansas City Chiefs against the NFL's Minnesota Vikings, following which both leagues merged to form the modern-day NFL, with teams being placed in either the NFC or AFC. This is how the newly formed conferences looked like after teams were transferred to balance both conferences and divisions. Plans were also made to add 2 expansion teams, which happened after a long 7-year wait in 1976, with the addition of Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Seattle Seahawks. In 1970, Packers coach Vince Lombardi passed away from cancer, and the NFL Championship Trophy, then known as the World Professional Football Championship, was renamed the Vince Lombardi Trophy and presented for the first time to the Baltimore Colts after their victory over the Dallas Cowboys at Super Bowl V. Unlike the Stanley Cup and Grey Cup, a new Vince Lombardi Trophy is cast every year, and the winning team maintains permanent possession of it, with the exception of the trophy won by the Baltimore Colts at Super Bowl V, which is still under the possession of the city of Baltimore after the infamous Midnight Mayflower relocation scandal to Indianapolis in 1984, when the Colts packed up and left the city in the dead of night in a secretive move to avoid the public eye and any resistance. Luckily for Baltimoreans, the city got its own team again 12 years later in 1996 and has so far won 2 of their own titles at Super Bowl 35 and Super Bowl 47. Over the years, we've seen some great title games. At Super Bowl 13, Hall of Famer Terry Bradshaw threw 4 touchdowns as the Steelers defeated the Cowboys to be the first team to win 3 Super Bowl rings and become an unquestioned dynasty. When the Bengals took on the 49ers at Super Bowl 23, the 49ers trailed 16-13 before marching 92 yards in 11 plays during the game's final 3 minutes, with game MVP Jerry Rice doing much of the work in what was also the final game of 49ers Hall of Fame coach Bill Walsh's career. At Super Bowl 36, in a surprising upset, Brady, Belichick, and the Patriots beat the greatest show on turf, St. Louis Rams, led by the legend himself, quarterback Kurt Warner, thus kickstarting the Brady-Belichick Patriots dynasty that would go on to play 9 Super Bowls and win 6 of them. And this list is incomplete without the mention of Super Bowl 51, where after trailing 21-0 and then 28-3, the Patriots offense led by Tom Brady unleashed chaos upon the Atlanta Falcons in the second half and won the game in overtime. This was the first game since the 1958 NFL Championship game to go into overtime. This game set 37 new player, team, and coaching records, while tying another 9. On Sunday, February 12, 2023, the State Farm Stadium, home of the Arizona Cardinals, located in Glendale, Arizona, will host the 57th NFL Super Bowl between the NFC and AFC champions. What makes the Super Bowl unique are the festivities around the game and over the weekend. So if you've never experienced a Super Bowl Sunday, mark the date in your calendar and head over to your local bar or friend's place to witness a collective experience that is rare in today's world of niche culture. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more sports content. In the meantime, click on these thumbnails to check out our other videos.